everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader. Thanks for being here. If you are new and you like what you're seeing, you should subscribe because I'm at 239 subscribers at the moment and I would like to get to 300, so that would be lovely. Anyway, we're here to wrap up the month of January. It is officially the 31st of January. How long was January here? It's been like 84 years. Yeah, and I somehow, well, actually January last year I really killed it. I read like 10 books, and this year I read like 11. I read 11 books, so we've a lot to get through. So let's hydrate. Oh, I got lipstick all over. That's the thing with wearing dark lipstick, it gets everywhere. Anyway, if you have yet to hydrate, do so right now. Whether it's water, juice, whatever it is, we need to stay hydrated, okay? And by the way, if you hear rain, it's raining at the moment, and my roof is like, if it sounds like the cast of Riverdance is on my roof, I do apologize. Anyway, so I've got all of these to talk to you about. I'll have two of them on my Kindle, actually, but anyway, the first book, 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. This was her newest release. This is the Introverted Reader Book Club pick for January, and I give it 2 stars. This was not the vibe, not the vibe, not the vibe. It was not. I have a full review of this on my channel if you want to go and hear my full thoughts, feelings, and opinions on this book. But yeah, I will leave that link down below. But yeah, 2 stars. Not the best start to 2023, but you know what? You know what? It's fine. I then read The 5 by Hayley Rubenhold. I think I said Rubenfold last time, and I do apologize. It's Rubenhold. Yes, this is The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper. This is not about Jack the Ripper. If you want a book about him, go somewhere else. This is about the women that he killed for literally no reason, and history has just written them off as just prostitutes, which is not the case. It is not the case at all, and I highly recommend that everybody read this because the lives of these women need to be told. And Polly, Annie, Elizabeth, Catherine, and Mary Jane deserve their dignity back. So this book made me very angry, but it was so informative, so good, and yeah, I give this 4 stars. Or 4.5, I guess. Anyway, the next 2 that I read was the first two volumes of Heartstopper. This is the Netflix tie-in edition, which I read. It's lovely. Look at them. Look at my babies. So yes, the first 2 volumes of Heartstopper. If you don't know what Heartstopper's about, where in actual hell have you been? Like, what deep dark corner of Hades have you been hiding where you haven't heard about this? But I'm sure you have. Basically, the lowdown, boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love. And it's very unlikely pairing because our boy Charlie, right here, played by the lovely Joe Locke, is sort of like the nerdy introvert. He's the only out kid at the school. Whereas Nick, this guy, played by Kit Connor, is like popular rugby lad, has loads of friends, whereas Charlie only has like 2 friends. Oh no, 3. I'm sorry, I forgot about Alad. I'm sorry. Alad, my sweet bean, Alad. Alad is in the comics. He's not in the TV show because he has his own little story going on. This is your public service announcement to read radio silence, just saying. Anyway, so give both of these 5 stars. They're amazing. They're beautiful. Put that there. And then I read Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Uncle Rick, or Rick Riordan. This was for the Olympian Along by Pris over at Pris Peruses. Is hosting at the moment, and I believe the live show for this is happening today or tonight. I believe this evening. So I might try and join in for that for a little while. If you see me in the comments, well, say hi if you want. Anyway, so I think the live show for this is happening tonight. I believe that was what they said on Twitter, but anyway, about Percy Jackson, 12-year-old boy, struggling a lot in school. He's dyslexic, he has ADHD, and then one day he finds out that he is actually really special. He is actually the son of a Greek god. I know, you wake up one day, you find out you're a demigod. What? And then he ends up having to go to a camp called Camp Half-Blood, which is the only place that his kind are truly safe from like the monsters and whatnot, because demigods are literally walking targets around here. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself reading this. I read this years ago. I read this when I was in my 20s, and I'm in my 30s now. Wow, she's old. But I loved it. 4 stars. The only reason I didn't give it 5 was because I don't know. It was just a lot of world building. A lot of times not a lot of stuff happened. And the way they portrayed Medusa, if you know then you know, did not sit right with me. So that's why it's getting a 4. But anyway, I highly recommend this. I mean, the whole series. And I'm super excited to carry on with that. And then after I read that, I says to myself, you know what, self? Yes, self. I'm in the mood for a fantasy romance. And I had one on my Kindle that I started, and it was Blood Mercy by Vila Roth. And all I knew about this, I mentioned this in my January TBR, all I knew about it was that it was a fantasy romance about about a human and a vampire. And I was like, say less. So I started reading it, and for maybe like the first 20-ish% was a bit slow, but I was still really, really enjoying it. And then, guys, something happened, and I couldn't put this book down for the life of me. Like, when I wasn't reading it, I was thinking about reading it. I didn't want to get up and be an adult and go to work. I just wanted to read this book, and it was amazing. So let me tell you what it's about. So we follow our 2 main characters. Our female main character is called Cassia, and she is the bastard daughter of the king, and everyone basically treats her like dirt. Everyone thinks that she is just all lower than them. She can barely walk down the castle corridors without people sneering at her or giving her a dirty look or being like, oh, there she is, you know, and all this. She has her dog, Knight, who is a leech hound, and it's like the author describes him as being a really big dog with like shaggy fur, like really, really big. I pictured an Irish wolfhound in my head whenever I pictured the dog, but I don't know why I told you that, but I just pictured an Irish wolfhound. And if you don't know what they look like, Google what they look like. They're big, massive, shaggy dogs. They're like size of horses. But anyway, and then our other main character, Leo, he is what's known as a Hesperine, right? They don't say the word vampire outright, but they are basically vampires because they drink blood, they're immortal, they live forever. And he and his people are basically coming to the human city for a summit. And he's not a warrior. Like, he's not like he's not like one of the cold-hearted, brooding vampires that we see all the time, you know, like all they know is the blood and hunger, and this is the skin of a killer, Bella, you know, like that's not who he is. He is actually so sweet and so pure, and I want to protect him with my life. He's actually he's like the ambassador for this whole thing, and the 2 of them meet ran obviously while they're there for the summit, and they grow like they meet up with each other, they talk to each other, they build a friendship, and then they and just watching their relationship blossom. If you enjoy a slow burn romance, you're gonna love this. Like, and I was just rooting for them all the way through. This book had me by the neck, and the cliffhanger at the end literally had me crying. So I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. And I didn't want to read anything else. I was just like, I need to get the second book. So I did. I got the second book, which is called Blood Solace. And I gave that 4 stars. Not much happened in that one, I'll be honest. It kind of felt like a bridge gap between books 1 and book 3, which I'm reading at the moment, loving life. But still, really, really solid sequel. I'm really loving the characters, like our 2 main characters. They're so good. Like, I love, like, have I mentioned that Leo is the most precious being to ever walk the face of this earth? Like, have I told you that? Have I told you that? Because he is. So yeah, if you enjoy slow burn romance, if you enjoy forbidden love, if you enjoy the whole fated mates thing, If you enjoy, you know, like sort of almost sort of kind of a grumpy sunshine thing going on. But yeah, oh my goodness, I love this series so much, and I'm currently reading book 3. So yeah, book 1 got 5 stars and book 2 got 4. But let's see how book 3 pans out, and I will let you know at the end of this month. But oh my goodness, if you haven't read any of the Blood Grey series yet, get up off your butt. Why is TikTok not talking about these? Like, why have I got lipstick on my teeth, first of all? Why is nobody on TikTok talking about the Blood Grey series? Just why? Do I need to come on there and educate you all? I think I need to. But anyway, the next 2 books that I read were the latter 2 volumes of Heartstopper, volume 3 and 4. These are the ones that delve into the heavier, sort of darker topics. So I will give trigger warnings for obviously mental health, eating disorders, intrusive thoughts, anxiety, mentions of self-harm. You know, just be wary of those trigger warnings, but the way they're handled in these is just so And then that whole scene with Nick and his mom where he's talking to her about Charlie and everything, and you know, she's just like, sometimes you can't fix everyone. Sometimes a person just needs you to be there to listen, to be a shoulder to cry on. And I felt that in my heart and my soul and my bones. Like, again, if you haven't read Heartstopper, what are you doing? And I'm so excited for season 2 of the TV show. It's gonna be a full moment. I'm so happy. So yes, 5 stars for both of these, because hello, what else would I give them? Anyway, the last 2 books that I read, Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, Volume 3. I'm so proud of myself that I finally read this. Talked about this up teen times. And I've mentioned a lot of times, you know, a lot of this story is flashback, and the majority of this volume was flashback, you know, to like the times before. It's kind of like, to be honest, the way the author has the the structure of the timeline in the book is a little bit confusing. Like, I understand why she's doing it the way she did it, because I don't think she intended for the whole book, like, I don't think she meant to do what the TV show did, meaning making nearly half of it a flashback and then coming back to present day. I think she just wanted to keep it present day and then occasionally have little flashbacks in between. But either way, love this. Love this. I give it 5 stars on Goodreads. And I'm gonna stick by that. And I'm so excited to carry on with volume 4, which is on my TBR for February. I'll leave my February TBR linked below if you want to know. And the last book, I finished this last night. And I think I put it on my TBR for February, but I managed to finish it because I loved it so much. Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco. Yeah, I finished this. I had it on my TBR for February, but I finished it and I tabbed it and I annotated. I was underlining things, people. Like, I was underlining things. I was underlining and writing things, which I have not done in a really long time, but I had so much fun annotating this and rereading it. And even though I knew, like, even though I knew that certain things went down in this, that it was all, you know, obviously I was like, hello, we've got 2 more books. Why are you getting upset? It still got to me. This is about our girl Amelia, and her twin sister ends up murdered. And oh yeah, and their whole family is like a family of witches. They practice witchcraft, and her sister are particularly special. They're particularly powerful. So anyway, her sister shows up murdered, and it's basically her trying to find out what happened to her sister and who killed her, why, you know, what was she doing leading up to her death? Like, because her sister had a lot of secrets, and she's just like, I need to find out what my sister was doing prior to her death and all this. And she enlists the help of a prince of hell called Wrath, who, I love him. I love him so much. The banter between the two of them in this book was infuriating, but so good at the same time. Like, I used purple to tab like the places where they were like bantering with each other and being sassy or whatever. I ended up running out of purple tabs. I need to get more tabs altogether, actually, because obviously I want to do the same with the latter two books that I did with this one. Like, but so good. 5 stars. Okay, 5 stars. I have a review of this as well, I think somewhere on my channel. I think I made this a book club pick like a year or so ago. But yeah, those are the 11 books that I read in February. I read all of these. I read all of these, and obviously the 2 that were on my Kindle. So that's that, lads. So let me know how well you did in January. My nose is running. Let me know how well you did in January. How did your reading go? Did you discover any new favorites like I did? Have you read any of these? What did you think of them? And yeah, so all of my socials will be down below. Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, TikTok. I only have one TikTok video, and it somehow has over 500 views. Like, why? But all of that will be down below, and the Goodreads will be down there. So if you want to follow me on any of those, you can. And if you want to subscribe, you can. Ring the bell, do all the things, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know you're here. And yeah, I love yous. Anyway, I'll see yous later. Bye.